Abraham was a man who loved God. He listened very carefully to God. God loved Abraham too. They were like best friends. God chose Abraham for something big. He told Abraham, "Look at the stars. You will have a family as big as that." Abraham smiled a very big smile. He believed God with all his heart. This was a super special promise. God told Abraham many things. He said, "Leave your home, go to a new land." Abraham did not ask why, he just packed his bags and went. He trusted God to lead him. That's what good friends do. They trust each other a lot. Abraham knew God had a good plan. Even when things seemed a little strange, he always remembered God's love. Then God gave Abraham a wonderful gift. It was a son named Isaac. Abraham and his wife Sarah were so happy. They had waited for a very long time. Isaac was their miracle boy. He was the son God promised. Abraham loved Isaac more than anything. Isaac was a sign of God's big promise. He was a special part of God's plan. Everything seemed perfect and joyful. Abraham taught Isaac about God. He told him stories about God's goodness. He showed him how to pray. Isaac learned to love God too. Their family was full of joy. God was with them every day. Abraham felt so thankful for Isaac. He knew God always keeps his promises. This made Abraham's faith grow stronger. He was God's faithful, trusting friend. One day God spoke to Abraham again, but this time God asked something very hard. It was the hardest thing ever. God said, "Abraham, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love. Go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a special gift to me." Abraham's heart must have felt so heavy. This was a very big test. How could God ask for this? Abraham must have been very sad, and maybe a little bit confused. Isaac was the promised son. How could the big family promise come true? If Isaac was gone, what would happen? These questions might have filled his mind. But Abraham remembered something important. He remembered God was always good. He remembered God always had a plan, even when it was hard to understand. Abraham did not argue with God. He did not say, "No, I can't do that." He got up early in the morning. He got the wood ready for the special fire. He told his helpers to get the donkey. He was going to obey God, even though his heart was breaking. He trusted God more than his own feelings. This showed his amazing faith. He believed God knew best always. Imagine how quiet Abraham must have been. He loved Isaac so very, very much. This was not easy for him at all, but his love for God was also so big. He chose to trust God completely. He believed God would still keep his promise. Somehow, some way, God would make it right. This deep trust was very special. It made Abraham a true hero of faith. He was ready to do what God asked. So Abraham and Isaac started their journey. 2 helpers went with them part of the way. They walked for 3 long days, 3 days of walking and thinking. Abraham carried the fire and a knife. Isaac carried the wood on his shoulders. Isaac was a good boy helping his father. He did not know what was going to happen. He just trusted his loving father, Abraham. It was a quiet and serious walk. On the 3rd day, Abraham saw the mountain. It was the place God had told him about. He told his helpers, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back." Notice what Abraham said, "We will come back." He still believed God would do something. He had faith that they would both return. This showed his strong hope in God, even in this very hard situation. As they walked up the mountain alone, Isaac spoke. He was a smart boy and noticed something. "Father," he asked in his small voice. "Yes, my son?" Abraham replied gently. "Look," said Isaac, "we have the fire, and we have the wood for the offering. But where is the lamb for the special gift?" Isaac was curious and a little puzzled. He knew how these special gifts worked. He was waiting for his father's answer. Abraham's heart must have ached to hear that, but he answered with calm faith. He said, "My son, God himself will provide the lamb. God will provide the lamb for the offering." What amazing trust in God's plan. Abraham did not know how, but he believed. He believed God would take care of everything. He kept walking, holding on to that faith. He knew God was watching over them. His words showed his deep, unwavering trust. When they reached the special place, Abraham built an altar. He carefully arranged the wood on top. Then he gently tied up Isaac. He laid his precious son on the wood. Imagine how Isaac must have felt. But he trusted his father, Abraham. Abraham picked up the knife. His hand was raised, ready to obey God. This was the moment of the biggest test. His love for God was truly being shown. Just then, an angel of the Lord called out, "Abraham, Abraham," the angel shouted from heaven. "Here I am," Abraham answered quickly. "Do not lay your hand on the boy," the angel said. "Do not do anything to him at all. Now I know that you fear God. You have not kept your son, your only son, from me." Abraham must have felt such huge relief. God had seen his faithful heart. The terrible test was finally over. Abraham looked up, and what did he see? There, caught in a bush by its horns, was a ram, a real live ram, perfect for the offering. God had provided the lamb just as Abraham said. God always keeps his promises to his friends. Abraham was so happy and thankful. He quickly untied Isaac, his beloved son. Then he took the ram and offered it instead. God showed his amazing provision. He showed he cares for those who trust him. God was very pleased with Abraham's great faith. He blessed Abraham again with even bigger promises. He said his family would be like the stars and like the sand on the seashore because Abraham obeyed God's voice, even when it was the hardest thing to do. The lesson for us is very clear. We should always trust God no matter what. He sees our hearts and he will provide. God is faithful and his love never fails.